Monday. We hope everyone's day is off to a magical start. Welcome to Disney on a Dime. Today, Eric and I wanted to stop in and share with you, our little quick tutorial and thoughts on the Disney, or I guess I should also say Orlando, moderately priced hotels.
And I think this is the fourth in our hotel series. So we did one on hotels for large families. We've done value resorts, we've done luxe. So now we're dead in the middle.
Yes.
Like all our other videos, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you booking directly on the sites.
Yep.
We're gonna show, Universal, we're gonna show Disney examples, and we're gonna show an off-property example. And we're also gonna rely heavily on TripAdvisor. That's been a theme throughout all of our videos. Now, before we jump into this, I wanna say a few things because this is Disney on a Dime. So I thought it'd be good, since we're talking about hotels in general, what are some general tips I can give you around saving money for hotels? And there are no magic bullets. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you and say there's like some super secret website.
Yeah.
But there are a few things. I think the first one I would say is, especially in Orlando, the seasonality matters. If you're trying to book a hotel for Christmas in November, you are going to pay dearly.
Yeah, okay? Yeah, that's kind of late. That's kind of, yeah.
All hotels these days, they fluctuate their pricing. And the closer you get to a busy season, the more you're going to pay. Yeah. So if you want to go at Christmas, you want to be trying to book. I'm not saying you have to book it now, for example, but probably August, you want to start looking at booking for that. Yeah. So, if you're booking for 4th of July, you probably need to be booking right about now.
I would say now it's still kind of pushing it.
On all these
Eric
videos,
has his notes.
I have my notes. On all these videos, we either go directly to the hotel website or we go to TripAdvisor. We haven't really shown booking through third-party sites like Trivago or Priceline. I'm not saying don't do that. I would definitely do that. I use third-party sites like that to kind of compare. Yeah. So I'll go to like Trivago and see what price I get, or Priceline, and then I'll go to Hilton and I'll say, hey, Hilton, can you give me as good a price as the third-party site is giving me? Yeah. So that's a great tip. As far as getting inexpensive rates, book early. Also check your corporate rates. If you work for a large corporation, you'd be surprised. I work with a lot of people. I was telling the guy I worked with just recently, hey, we have a great corporate discount rate. He didn't even know. Wow. So check that. Also joining AAA. We're not members of AAA, but I have a friend that's a member of AAA. He needs it anyway because his cars are kind of older. Okay. So he needs the roadside assistance. And if you go to any hotel website, they ask you for your AAA number and they will give you a discount. And
for those of you who are traveling, to the US from overseas, and I think a lot of you typically do 3, maybe even 4 weeks, it is really good for you guys, since you're staying, so long, to really try to get the best value and best deal that you can on your hotels.
Yeah, and a lot of times, the last thing I'll say, the best deal sometimes comes from trying to go in the off season. Now, we did a video and we talked about there's not really a off season. There's a season where it's not nuts, and then there's a season there's a season where it's just bananas, but you can still have fun. So going in the off season is another way to save money. But let's get down to it. We've talked enough. I think let's walk through booking some of these mid-price resorts. And these resorts are going to range from, I think, around $150 up to about $300, $350 a night.
All right.
Okay, folks. So this video will focus on moderate resorts. So far, we've done videos on resorts that work well for large families. We've done value resorts. We've done luxe resorts. So now we are smack dab in the middle. And we're going to talk about resorts that are moderately priced. So, we're looking probably between $150 and I'm going to say maybe $300 to $350. I would say this is by far the largest category you're going to run into when you vacation in Orlando, because I think this is a price point that a lot of folks look for. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at 3 different examples. We're going to look at an example at Walt Disney World, Universal, and an off-property resort. So let's start out at Disney.com, and what we've been doing on these videos is we want to put in the same date. So we're going to do our July 1st through the 5th trip for 2 adults and 1 child. And when you go to Disney's website, Disney really does a good job of kind of categorizing their different types of resorts. So you go in here and you select a resort. And as I mentioned, one of the videos we did was what we call luxe resorts, kind of your 4-star, 5-star resort. So Disney has a whole category of deluxe resorts On our previous video, we focused mainly on Grand Floridian, but I think we are going to come back and do a comparison of all the various Disney Deluxe resorts because that's really their largest category.
Have we stayed at any of the deluxe resorts?
So our favorite, that's a great question. Our favorite deluxe resort was Animal Kingdom Lodge. We've also done Boardwalk.
Yeah.
But we really like Animal Kingdom Lodge. We'll do a video on that. But of course, we're going to focus on moderately priced resorts. And the moderate resort we've stayed at has been Coronado Springs.
Okay.
So let's start at Coronado Springs. So we'll pick that and we'll go ahead and find the prices. We really like Coronado Springs. It's got a Central American, South American vibe. It looks like a resort you might find in Mexico or south of the border. It's got a lake in the middle of it that you can kind of hang out at.
Where you ran aground with the boat?
So you used to be able to rent watercraft at Coronado Springs. You can't anymore. We did a video where we talked about things to do outside of the parks, and one of them is renting a watercraft. So you used to be able to rent watercraft, and yes, we rented a boat at Coronado Springs at their lake, and yes, I did run it aground. Thank you for bringing that back up. So what we see here is, let's see if we got what we wanted. So this is a family suite at Coronado Springs. Let's check. So this sleeps, and I actually just wanted a regular room. Let's see. Lion King cars. Why is this giving me art of animation? Let's go back.
Yeah, they may not have one.
I did not pick art of animation.
Day.
So let's try again. So what it will do sometimes, if your resort is not available, Disney will sneakily suggest another resort. So I don't know if that's what it just did. Let me try that again. Okay. So it did pop up. Now, first thing that comes up is it is undergoing refurbishment. They've really built out Coronado Springs a lot over the years. It used to be a lot smaller. They've added a lot of new areas to it.
And yeah, so speaking of adding new areas, if you are just in Orlando visiting the theme parks and you don't happen to be staying at this particular resort, it is a great resort if you have some downtime to go over and check out and do a little resort hopping.
Absolutely. We've done a video on things to do outside of the Disney resorts, outside of the Disney theme parks. Resort hopping is a great way to spend your time. Like we said, Coronado Springs has a beautiful lake. It's got some good restaurants. So even if you're not staying here, you know, if you're tired of the parks and the hustle and bustle, go visit Coronado Springs. So if we did these dates, the 1st through the 5th, you can see our price. So we're going to comparison shop. So you guys want to remember this was about $900. From the 1st through the 5th was about $900. We've also done a video, and hopefully you guys are really following our channel and subscribing. We've talked about also doing things like adding in tickets and meal plans. So that's another good thing you can do is come in here and add the 5-day ticket. And they did it for 3 people because I put in 2 adults and 1 child. Or adding in a dining plan. We did a whole video on dining plan. And one of the ways to save money, especially if you're staying on Disney property, we looked at the dining plan. We were skeptical, but when we looked at it, you know, I kind of feel like if you're staying on property and your kids, you know, you maybe have younger kids, it's a good deal.
Okay.
Now, what we want to do always is cross-reference. So we go to the main sites to book these rooms. Like, so we go to Disney.com, but we always want to cross-reference with TripAdvisor. So if you watch our channel, you'll know that TripAdvisor is kind of like our Bible, right? We always go here. A couple of things we look for on TripAdvisor. One of them is the rating of the hotel. So 168 of 334 hotels in Orlando. Honestly, I think this could be a little bit higher given the price and the fact this is a Disney resort.
But again, you know, we need to see or actually read through the reviews and see what the guests were actually, you know, complaining about.
So this is that gorgeous lake we talked about. So this is a really good view of the lake. So when you're resort hopping, you can kind of walk around the lake. There's restaurants. The other thing, and what I'm doing now on TripAdvisor, we always want to go to TripAdvisor and look at the traveler photos. Not the professional photos, but the photos that individuals have taken when they stayed at these resorts. So we want to look at the reviews, but also the traveler photos.
Right. In these photos that Eric's showing here of the bedroom, you can kind of see or judge the size of the bed. You know, do you think your family would be able to, you know, fit in that particular bed? And as you see here, Eric, I'll let you.
This is why we go to TripAdvisor, right? Now, understand this is a bad review. Somebody gave them 1 out of 5 stars, and the reason why is obvious from the picture. You know, no hotel is 100%. So that's a bad review. That's a horrible picture, but we don't want to beat up on Coronado Springs too much. If you look at any hotel on TripAdvisor, I've not seen a hotel yet that has all 5-star reviews. All hotels slip up and make mistakes. What we said before in other videos is if there is a bad review, you want to look and see if management has responded to that review, because management can respond to a review on TripAdvisor.
And absolutely. And so if you are, you know, in a situation where you have a room that hasn't been cleaned to what you feel is your standard, I absolutely say go to TripAdvisor and write it up so that we can hold management accountable. You know, these rooms are not free. You've paid your funds and you deserve a clean room.
Yeah. And you can see, you know, this is a great place to get advice. So this person is saying, hey, you know, there are better options nearby. They gave it 2 out of 5. So looking at these reviews, it's got some good reviews, but I can kind of see, like this person says never again, why it's a little low for me. For a Disney resort, I think 168 out of 334 is low. Yeah. So let's look at another option. Let's return back to the main Magic Kingdom and let's try another mid-priced resort. So another one we've not stayed at, but we've explored quite a bit is Caribbean Beach. And you'll see here kind of the 4 main resorts that are mid-priced or moderate are the Cabins at Fort Wilderness Resort, Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, and Port Orleans. Port Orleans is beautiful. They've really built up a lot. There's a lot. That's a great resort to explore as well. But we're going to focus on Caribbean Beach and see if it's, you know, what the price is for that, how it compares, and if it gets better reviews on TripAdvisor. So again, these are things you want to think about. Going to TripAdvisor, looking at the meal plan, watch our meal plan video, how to make this a little bit, you know, less expensive. So another way to make it less expensive is, you know, the lake views we showed are gorgeous, and they've got some, you know, lake views at Caribbean Beach, but you can save a little money by just getting a standard view.
And if you have that little guy in your life, or even that little girl who really likes to be adventurous, you see here that Eric clicked on the Pirate Standard Room.
Yeah. And this is a little bit more. So this is about $100 more than Coronado Springs. Okay. And again, we're going to go right back to TripAdvisor. Let's see if this one's ranked higher. So is it worth $100 more? Well, this is ranked a little bit higher. They're about 20 points higher. So they're number 149. And you see here the gorgeous pictures of the resort. And I know you're a big fan of looking at bathroom pictures. That's always the picture you want to look at, right?
Oh, yeah. I am a bit of a hotel snob, guys. I wholeheartedly admit it. I love to have bathrooms with the glass shower enclosure. I really don't like the shower curtains. So when I find a hotel room that has the glass shower, I am just about sold on it.
You can see here, Disney is doing a lot of unique things with their room, or starting to. They do a lot of creative things with pull-out beds. So here you have a pull-out. The Disney moderate resorts, the rooms are not huge, and they also open directly to the outdoors.
Yeah, that's something that I found kind of, I don't know, I didn't really like that too much, because you go from value where the rooms all open to the outside. Now you're in the mid-range prices, and you're not really getting, you know, a door or a room that opens to the inside as an amenity.
I find this picture funny because I was just eating cashews. So someone left a present that they didn't clean up. A little cashew there. All right. So obviously we've looked at a couple of Disney resorts. Now let's compare them. And, you know, what I'm seeing a common theme for the moderate Disney resorts, they're fun resorts, beautiful grounds, but it looks like some of the cleanliness of these is lacking. So if you're a neat freak and kind of a cleanliness freak, I probably would not do these if it's not as big a deal. I think these are really fun, great resorts. You've got all the Disney resorts. You have the shuttle service to the parks. I don't think any of the moderate resorts are directly connected to a park. But I know Port Orleans, you can take the boat right over to Disney Springs. And Coronado Springs and Caribbean Beach have very convenient Disney shuttle service. So let's now see how a Universal mid-price resort compares. So we're going to do Sapphire Falls. This is another resort we've stayed at. What I need to do here to make it fair is put in those same dates. So we're going to do July 1st through the 5th.
You guys have to let us know in the comments if anyone is actually going to Disney
anytime soon
during these particular dates that we keep putting in.
So we're going to view all rooms. So it looks like they start at $224 for a standard 2-queen room. So they're a little bit higher. Sapphire Falls is a very nice resort. So let's look at some of the pictures. It's brand new. It's a lot newer than the 2 Disney resorts we just looked at. So Sapphire Falls is about $20 more than Caribbean Beach, so a little bit more, but let's look at the photos.
Yeah, while Eric pulls up these photos, guys, you know, Universal has really been on the ball with getting their hotels and I guess other theme park attractions up. It's like they're breaking all kinds of records with the speed that they're getting their hotels and attractions completed.
Yeah. Sapphire Falls, although it is a mid-price resort, it is an actual hotel design. The rooms do not open to the outside. It actually is a formal hotel with inside hallways. It's got restaurants. You can see here, this is a great picture. We actually stayed, this view you're looking at, this is the view we had from our room. So this is near where we stayed. And what you could do is, when you leave your room to go to the Universal parks, you can either take this little boat here, or actually a walkway. It's a beautiful walkway to City Walk. And then City Walk, if you're not familiar with Universal, is the hub. So from City Walk, that's kind of like their Disney Springs, their version of Disney Springs, their shopping and dining area. You can either go to Islands of Adventure or Universal from City Walk. So City Walk is dead in the middle. And what's nice about staying at a Universal property and being able to take the boat over or the path is you don't have to go through the main parking deck with the larger crowds. And this also is a great place to resort hop because this is a beautiful, beautiful grounds. And if we just kind of click through, we'll see, you know, you can lounge out by the pool.
Babe, how do you think the size of the rooms compare to Disney's?
I think these are slightly larger. None of the rooms in a moderate resort are going to be huge. And what you want to start to do, and we talked about this on our video about hotels for larger families. A lot of these hotels will also have suites. Like I think I saw some suites at Coronado Springs and Caribbean Beach. So if you have a larger family, you can pick these same hotels, but you know you might want to pay a little bit more and opt for the suite. This is also a newer. This is I think less than a year old. I think it might have just hit its year anniversary. So
they have the glass enclosed shower.
you love a glass enclosed shower as opposed to the dirty shower curtain. It's hard to keep a shower curtain clean.
Yeah.
So gorgeous, gorgeous resort. Okay, so we've looked at a Universal property, we've looked at a Disney property. Now it would only be fair to look at something off property. So we're going to look at a resort I've stayed at. We actually have stayed at before, and a brand I've stayed at a few times, the Gaylord. This is the Gaylord Palms in Orlando.
And you stayed there for work.
Yeah, I stayed at. There's also a Gaylord in Dallas. And the Gaylord in Dallas and Florida both do a good job of kind of theming around the local area. And we'll see if we can pull up some pictures of what that theming looks like. But the Gaylord is a massive, massive resort. It's basically built around a very large atrium area, and we'll see if we've got some pictures online. But you can kind of see here, it's as big as it looks.
It's massive.
They do a lot of conventions and festivals at this resort, a lot of business conventions. So you got to be careful because some of the conventions can get a little bit rowdy. And for Christmas, they do a huge festival called ICE that we go to every year when we go at Christmas.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, again, for something to do outside of the parks or during the holidays, come to the Gaylord site and just see what festivities they have planned on site. So once again, we're going to, to keep it fair, we're going to plan out a vacation from the 1st through the 5th of July. We're going to look for one room, and we're going to, let me do that. Go back here. So let's put those dates in again. July 1st through the 5th.
And again, is anyone going July 1st through the 5th? Let us know below.
Now let's see what they got. Now, this is a Marriott property. So I've said before, the two big hotel chains are Hilton's and Marriott's, and then they just have a bunch of brands under them. You always want to join the Hotel Points Club. Even if you don't travel a lot, you'd be surprised how often points rack up. I'm a member of both Marriott Rewards and Hilton Honors. And you'll see like special pricing and packaging for the Marriott Rewards and Hilton Honors members. Also, sometimes you'll get things like free internet, if you join their club. So this is quite a bit more. This is $336. So we're getting up into the luxe category. So for that price, and this has been the highest one yet, I'm definitely going to pop over to TripAdvisor and see if it is worth the money. So, well, you know, the rating is
wow.
Now this is another thing though, you got to be careful. The other 3 hotels we looked at were looked at on the basis of Orlando hotels. Here it's Kissimmee, which is a smaller sample. Kissimmee, I said Kissimmee. Kissimmee. So, but it's just, you know, number 17 out of 152 is respectable. So let's look at some of the pictures. And let's see if they have any of the, so this is the atrium. This is a great view of the atrium.
They have alligators and lizards.
So your room, these are the rooms will face out into this massive atrium. And yes, this is indoors. And they have, like you said, a very, it's not really a zoo, but they've got alligators and turtles. It's a Florida kind of theme, like a swamp theme down in the atrium. I believe the one in Texas had a desert theme when I stayed there. So we've actually come and hung out in the lobby, in the atrium. There's some great themed restaurants in the atrium. And again, these are things you got to think about. Here's the Christmas festival that they have in the atrium. Again, at Christmas, the parks are massively crowded. You want to do something different. You know, come here, hang out, take pictures. All of these resorts that we've looked at, Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, Gaylord, great photo opportunities. Obviously, things like Instagram and Facebook are very popular. You want to brag to your friends. We're having a great time on vacation. So, you know, great place to come and take pictures. Here you can kind of see, you can look out and see that atrium view. So definitely a great option.
Well, that's it, guys. As always, we hope that you have found this video to be very informative. And so until next time, guys, don't forget to make every day magical.